and then you can start.
This meeting is being recorded by clicking button on my screen. Okay, I think I agree.
Yeah.
I consent.
Okay, are you ready? Oh, and you've got it. What
Oh
the?
my gosh.
How?
Is that a corn cob?
That is
It is a corn
really
cob pipe.
funny.
Thank you for noticing.
Work the corn cob pipe.
I just don't. How'd you get
Julie, you
that?
gotta make a Christmas version of this jingle. I'm
Hannah
sorry
got
for
it
all
from
the
me a few
work.
years ago.
What?
I'm sorry for all the work,
Frosty
but you have to make a Christmas version of this jingle.
Oh, I know.
Get some sleigh
Frosty the
bells in there or
Snowblind.
something. Oh
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no.
Guys,
Toby.
it's never been used. It's never been used. It's just a prop, to make me feel confident and cool and
Yeah.
superior.
Sure.
Corn cob pipe does do that. Yeah. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, I'm gonna sneeze. I think I'm good. Sorry. My nose is itchy.
Wait,
Oh,
Jolene,
gosh, we're never gonna
put
get
this
through
part
this.
in.
Well, this is all gonna go in.
Okay.
Also, who wants to go first? Is anyone gonna volunteer to go first?
Who's on first?
Oh, God.
What's
I'll
on
go
second?
first. I'll go first.
Okay, German's gonna go first. Great. I'll pass
Whoa.
it over to you. What?
You just snubbed him.
Oh, I didn't know
Wait.
anyone else volunteered.
Wait,
Sorry.
I didn't hear anybody else either. Who wants to
Whatever.
go first?
I mean, you don't have to hear. You can see them. We're on
Blaine
video.
definitely volunteered, and you're like, okay, great, German.
No. I
I heard
can only
German,
see four at
sorry.
a time. I can only see four at a time.
Well, you need
Oh,
to pin,
okay,
you need to pin your boss's video.
You're right.
Okay,
So
I'll
you should
decide
pin
in the
my
moment.
video.
I'll decide.
No,
in the
German can go
moment.
first. That's
Oh,
fine.
yeah. Nice, Toby.
I'm just
Okay.
butt hurt. That's all.
Let's get started, guys. Ready? Welcome to the Better Wherever.
Christmas time. Oh yeah.
Yep.
We should
I'm
have
never
just-
gonna
yes.
get done with this. We got a long day ahead of us. I just
Classic.
recorded freaking Advent worship, okay?
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know.
Just go.
Oh, God.
Blaine, that was so mean.
That is like happy holidays.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to DC Chi Alpha's Better Wherever podcast, where we are better together wherever, whatever the weather, whether we are together or not. And today we have our special Christmas edition of the Better Wherever podcast. I am joined with the entire DC Chi Alpha staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we get into what our episode is
Hear,
about
hear.
today, of course, yes, here. Of course, I have a question for us. So, you guys ready?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I had it open somewhere and I lost it. Oh, here it is. Okay. I just don't want to screw it up. You know what I mean?
It's
All right, here's the
important.
question. How did Mary and Joseph know Jesus' weight when he was born?
Come on. Wait.
Oh,
Hold on.
Is it now?
He was uplifted? No.
Did Mary know that?
I see what you did. Daniel, I see what you did.
Did Mary know that?
Yeah.
Jesus' weight?
Yeah.
Jesus
Lead him.
was lifted up. No.
He's high
was-
and lifted up.
It was worth waiting for. It was a promise he
yes,
waited
yes,
for.
yes.
Oh, it was the weight of glory.
Wow.
Come on.
Hallelujah,
We're in church
hallelujah.
now. We're in church.
Come on, somebody.
No interest now.
Pass the
Close.
peas, like they used to say.
Close but no corncob pipe, as Blaine. No, the answer is they had a way in a manger.
That's horrible, and I love it.
I know, right?
I was not gonna get that. I
wasn't gonna get it.
Wow,
That's also
well,
like
Forgot about the manger.
yeah,
Wow.
it's just it
Yeah.
doesn't make a ton of sense,
No.
but it was worth it.
If you don't think about it, yeah. I mean, if you
If you don't think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Crosswalk.com has been a great resource for us this semester. Crosswalk.com.
absolutely.
I don't even know what that is. Anyway, like I said before, welcome to our special edition of the Better Wherever podcast. We have a special edition not just because it's Christmas, but because this is a video edition. So if you're lucky enough to be watching this, you're enjoying our amazing Christmas sweaters and hats, some great Christmas backgrounds, especially Germans. And we are going to be reviewing Christmas movies. We had so much success reviewing Christian movies a few months ago that we each have chosen to watch a different Christmas movie, and we're coming with our review and giving our Bob the Tomato Meter percentage rating.
Mm-hmm.
This is for y'all.
Just as clarification, I do want to note that there will be some spoilers. So just so you guys know, the movies that we are reviewing are Arthur Christmas, Klaus, Muppet Christmas Carol, Jingle Jangle, Christmas Catch, Night Before Christmas, Night.
Good
Night
night.
Yes,
Before
not
Christmas,
Okay.
and
Go.
Operation Christmas Drop. So if you want to watch those movies, don't want any spoilers, pause right here, go watch all those movies, and then come back. And we hope you enjoy this episode of Better Wherever.
That was great.
Strong.
Great. Okay.
Even
This
better
part
than the
isn't
first take.
recorded.
Even better than the first take.
I don't know.
Who
I
could
don't
have
know.
thought? Who could have thought?
Okay. Ready? So like I said, we are reviewing our favorite Christmas movies, or maybe not favorite Christmas movies, but movies
Definitely
that we
favorite. Definitely favorite.
watched. Some are favorite.
I mean, mine's pretty great.
No.
You can specify
Mine is, but I wouldn't call it my
where it
favorite.
lands.
But anyway, so we're going to start off, reminder that there are spoilers. We're going to start off with German.
Let's
Tell us
go.
what movie you watched. Give us your synopsis of the plot. Give us your review.
Mhm.
And then give us your Bob the Tomato Meter percentage.
Cool. So I'm gonna need your help with the title. It's Arthur's Christmas. Arthur.
Arthur
Arthur.
Christmas.
Arthur.
Yeah,
Arthur.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying it ever again.
This is his favorite
Our
movie,
third
though, but
Yeah.
I mean, tell my tongue that she don't get it. But yeah. So this movie is really cool. I've seen it like multiple times. Not on Christmas. I've put on Blaine today. I'm trying to put some other people onto that movie. It's definitely my favorite movie. So
It's good. It's really good, you guys.
Ah.
yes, Blaine and I saw it on the ceiling because we projected it on the ceiling when we were at Salt.
That's
Back
right.
when things
Nexus
happened.
Salt. Nexus Salt.
Yes. So I feel like the plot of the movie is pretty cool. So the movie is basically about Santa, but it's like three generations of Santa. You have the grandfather Santa, who has been retired. You have the current Santa, who's about to retire. You have the next in line Santa, and then you have the little brother, which is Arthur, that guy. And I mean, we kind of get to see a glimpse of like the evolution of Santa from like the grandfather who like was like old school, like wooden thing that they fly on. Sleigh, yeah. And to like the up and coming Santa, who's like has a spaceship, and all the little elf are like trained in like special combat and all that stuff. So like they're like, so you go from like the super old school where like you had like probably 10 elf to like now you have like this whole militarized line of elf designed to like Santa's not needed anymore. Because the elves can do everything to like at like an amazing rate. They can do that. Santa acts as like the general, but in the movie takes place where like Santa is like just like tired and old, about to retire, and the son is gonna take over. So he's kind of leading the operations behind the scene because he knows all about the technologies and all that stuff. And then he does the last Christmas. He comes back. He almost ruins it because he's super lazy. Comes back, the son saves the day because it's really his operation. And so when Santa is about to retire, they throw a party for him, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna miss this." So he decides not to retire.
Wow.
Michael Jordan style. Michael Jordan style.
Wow. That's beautiful.
And so what in the midst of all this chaos, one girl doesn't get her present because if it got missed.
That's
And
horrible.
so Arthur loves the kids. Like he's the only one that will read their letters. He's the only one that will hang their letters up. He will.
Yeah.
If he was Christian, he'd probably be praying for them. Like all that stuff. Everybody else is just, I need to make people happy so they can remember me and like me.
Mm-hmm.
And so Arthur is like, Dad, you missed a kid. And he's like, yeah, but it's over. And the son is like, you missed a kid. Yeah, but like, that's one thing out of like all this thing we've accomplished. So he like, there's no way she's going to miss not have her print. So he goes out of his way with his old grandfather, who's like really salty because the way the world has changed, and he's like, back in my days. And so the grandfather convinced Arthur to go with him to take the gifts. And so that journey happens, and then the dad and the younger brother go out in a spaceship to try to find it. And so in the whole process, it's really, the movie's entertaining because you just see like the adaptations of how Santa will look in today's world. Like whether like his spaceship looks like, oh, is that an alien? Or what is that? And all that stuff. And then in the process of that, it turns out like the Santa is not about the what he has, but is the person that he is. And at the end of the day, like, so the brother was supposed to be the next in line, but Arthur turns out to be the next in line because he had the hard posture of Santa. Like he was like, every kid will get his presents, and I don't care what I gotta do, I will get it to them on time. And so everybody, like at the end of the movie, everybody looks at each other and like, yo, I don't think it's none of us, because all three of them wanted to be Santa. Like the grandfather was like, I'm trying to get back in there because I missed the fame. The dad is like, yo, I don't want to leave this. The brother's like, no, it's my turn. It's my turn. But Arthur was just like, this child was gonna have a terrible life because they didn't get the thing that they asked Santa for.
Nice.
Yeah,
and
unlike most Christmas movies, this one doesn't have a third act problem because German, I don't know if you're going to get into it, but when the Santa headquarters is attacked and all three generations of Santa die, and then what happens next? Are you going to get into that, or are you going to let that be just for the viewer to dig into?
What?
Did that happen? Did that happen, Blaine?
You didn't watch after the credits? You didn't watch after the credits?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see after the credits. No, I don't think
there's like a 30-minute scene after the credits.
Oh my gosh, Marvel style.
Oh my god.
Don't ruin my movie. So
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Happy New Year.
So yeah, Arthur is the real Santa that we all need and definitely wish. Arthur will wear a mask if he were to come too.
Oh my gosh.
I believe that because he cares about humans.
Yeah, that's
and so Rotten Tomato rated out of 92.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm writing that one down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it had a mistake. What's wrong? You couldn't get 100. 100. What's going on?
That's really funny.
I feel like now I want to watch it again to find mistakes, because I feel like when I watched it, I was just like, yo, this is awesome. So now I want to go back to it and be like, okay, what could they have done better? Because it's one of those movies that it doesn't have low points. You know how like movies are good beginning or like filler.
Yeah.
No, but this one is like pretty consistent throughout, because you just see like, oh, it might not be about nothing, but you at least are seeing an adaptation of how Santa will live in today's society.
So what is your Bob the Tomato rating?
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong, except that it's animated. But I like that.
Is that a bad thing?
I would give it
Yeah, animation doesn't have to be
Nothing
bad.
wrong with
just
So would you give it 100%?
I don't know if I'm allowed to.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's whatever you
Is
want,
anything
man.
perfect?
You know,
Is anything perfect?
110. Yeah.
Give it a 99.
I'll give it a
99.9.
I give it a 99.
99.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
I'll come back in
I'm
the
gonna have to watch
comments
that.
and I'll add. I'll come back in the comments and I'll put a redefine meter.
Okay.
Okay. I
Wow.
like it.
Well, that's a good review. I definitely wrote it on my list of movies to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Nice.
Okay, Alexis, you're up. What movie did you review?
Yep.
Oh, and Alexa just turned on.
Yeah.
That
That happens. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Alexa, what's the best Christmas movie?
My headphones are in, so she
What's
can't
the
hear.
weather today?
Yeah. She's like,
Alexa, please send donation to Blaine's Venmo at Blaine Young from NK Hill. Use emoji
What?
plate for dinner.
So specific.
Wow.
Anyways, I watched and I'm going to review Jingle Jangle, one of the newest Christmas movies on Netflix. I'm going to use a summary that I found offline because I tend to get caught up in the details when giving summaries.
Like me.
So, but I'll elaborate a little bit.
Shots fired.
No, that's not a German. It's not. Okay. But this says Jingle Jangle: A Christmas Journey is a Netflix original film that premiered on November 13th, I'm reading the wrong thing. Okay, one second. All right. Wrong thing. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Offline
That's
thing
what
needs
you
to be
get.
an online thing.
I know. Okay. It says a cobblestone world comes to life in the event holiday musical tale of an embattled toy maker, his precocious granddaughter, and a magical invention that, if they can get it to work in time for the holidays, could change their lives forever.
That's a great way to put it.
Right? And to give you some of the cast, this will definitely give you some spoilers. So again, just warning you. But the toy maker, Geronicus Jingle, is played by Forrest Whitaker. His granddaughter
Forrest.
Journey his granddaughter Journey as a child is played by Madeline Mills. I saw in the credits this is her premiere, like her first time in a movie. So congrats,
Way to go, Maddie.
Madeline.
Nice.
Congrats. Well done.
I know. And then grandmother Journey is played by Felicia Rashad. And so also the villain or the antagonist in the movie is played by Keegan Key. So it's a pretty solid cast, high budget film. And honestly, I was a huge fan. If you watched and enjoyed The Greatest Showman, I think you will love this. I've been describing to people as The Greatest Showman
Okay.
meets Christmas.
I'm watching it now.
That is
Interesting.
exactly pretty much what it is. It is a musical.
Oh, I'll
This
watch
is
that.
amazing.
It is
This
high
is amazing.
quality music too. It is done
It
really,
is.
really well. They incorporate a lot of different styles of music as well. Also, if you're a Harry Potter fan, this is random, but I saw this. They film on the old Harry Potter sets, so that's kind of interesting.
Oh,
Oh,
that makes
wow.
sense.
I mean,
Witchcraft
I don't watch
is your
that
thing.
witchcraft, but
If you want, witchcraft. I mean, I can't speak for myself because I was not allowed to watch them,
right.
but that was a random thing that I saw. I thought it was pretty cool. But I thought
It was filmed in hell. It was filmed in hell.
hell decorated for Christmas, basically, you know. So,
Wow.
So J.C. Penney's around
I was
January.
going to say, America 2020.
Xmas, don't they?
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I think it was a pretty great film. It had a strong plot. I think at first when I was watching the trailer, like I was tracking, and then I saw that the invention that is invented is Buddy. He looks essentially like Wall-E, like you've seen the movie Wall-E, and so I told Jolene, I was like, this is just off Wall-E. I'm not gonna watch it. And I watched it, and I was like, dang, I was wrong. So highly recommend.
Okay.
If you also love to see young girls in STEM, I also recommend, because that's her thing
That
too,
was
is that
cool.
she's super
I like
smart, and it's just all around a good movie.
I'm about it.
Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a 90%, which I thought was pretty accurate. Honestly though, I'm gonna put it at a 95, specifically because I think it is very rare these days that we see a Christmas movie that I would want to watch again, and that I would recommend this highly as an actual Christmas movie to people.
That's definitely true.
So it's not just like a one-off Netflix thing to so yeah, I really recommend
Netflix
Jingle
made
Jangle
this?
for the masses.
Nice.
I like it.
My brother-in-law was trying to get us to watch it over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we just never got time to do it. And we were like, why do you want to watch Jingle Jangle so badly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out it was good. So
No, it's a
that
good
was
recommend. I'm totally
Because he
gonna watch
loves
it.
culture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch
He's cultured.
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
very random.
buddy.
Like, why?
It
you
It
know?
does.
Saying that
Also,
is
the
like
name
culture.
is so funny. I'm like, why did they choose?
It's such a good
Yeah,
name
like,
though.
why
It's
is
like,
this
I know
movie you
Jingle
wanna
Jangle.
watch?
I'm like, okay.
it makes sense.
It does.
I don't like the
It is
name.
true. Jingles
Christmas
are
term.
in there.
It
Wow.
rolls off the tongue.
The postwoman
Not-
in the
not
film
my
deserves
time.
an honorable mention. The postwoman in the film is
Oh,
so
that's-
funny.
Yes, I love her. Talking about a woman who knows what she wants. You'll figure it out. But yeah,
100%.
she just,
100%.
she's amazing. And she's also very confident in herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
Wow.
there's so many people.
I'm about to have a Christmas movie marathon.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's do that Zoom.
Wow. So another high rating for
Yeah.
Jingle Jangle. Thanks, Alexis.
It's good.
All right, who wants to go next? The next review.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I did Cats, but I watched
That's
but
disgusting.
I watched it.
That's
I
disgusting.
watched it in the same
Holiday
room
special.
as my Christmas tree, and so I stand by my review.
Oh,
No
my
precedent.
Disgusting.
I watched the Netflix original Operation Christmas Drop. It came out in 2020. It, I think, will be popular in a niche audience of people.
Like Blaine.
Like me, who I live somewhere cold and I wish I was somewhere warmer. The film is mostly filmed in Hawaii
What?
and placed
Okay.
in Hawaii.
Okay.
2, it explores congressional oversight, has scenes in DC, and talks about the
Yes.
American military-industrial complex. So that's
Wow.
right up my alley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
it also talks about what is the role of foreign bases or the military when stationed overseas. And it does a great job at talking about some of the humanitarian efforts that are decades long. But how does that collide in budget cuts? And so that's really the
This
crux
is about
of the
Christmas?
movie.
But it doesn't sound very
Is
holly
that
jolly to
politics?
me.
What's
Is this a documentary?
Honestly,
You know, it could be. It could be, but no,
I
it's not a
think-
documentary.
I think Blaine's making
I think so.
something very
Making
think
some
so.
allowance.
No, I know.
romance
If I'm going
involved?
about
You
how
didn't
Blaine is
mention that at
reviewing
all.
movies,
Yeah, what's
before.
the-
Right, right.
Isn't there?
Also, what year does this take place in?
An Air Force
2020.
We have so many
2020.
questions.
2019, an Air Force pilot oversees Operation Christmas Drop, where about 100,000 pounds of goods are given to remote access islands, volunteer time, volunteer flight time, donations, and the military around Christmas literally drops it from parachutes for kids and families in need overseas. They're doing base closures, and the congresswoman in charge of that wants to nix this base because she doesn't see value in Operation Christmas Drop, and sends none other than the main actress from Christmas Calendar to meet Mr. Air Force, Mr. Santa Claus. And
AKA, what's it? He's from Hunger Games, the
Yeah.
blonde guy, and also from like
Oh,
Ender's
oh.
Game and stuff, or whatever.
What's his name?
Yeah,
Which guy?
Alexander Ludwig.
Yeah, the him.
Huh.
Him.
Wow.
You know who that is?
Wow, there's a lot of political commentary
Wow.
going on in there.
No, there is.
Like,
I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even if it wasn't, Blaine was gonna find a way to do it.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
that's true.
But it
That's
actually
true.
was
That's
there this time. This wasn't
Right.
as much of a
No,
I still gotta
yeah,
watch.
really,
I
yeah,
still gotta watch.
yeah.
I still gotta watch.
Yeah.
We just
I don't know. I
couldn't
still
tell.
gotta watch it.
interesting.
Clearly, it's both lighthearted, interesting for people that live in DC. I would want to go to Hawaii and be somewhere warmer for Christmas. I'd be down for
What?
palm trees with lights.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm okay with
so Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 47%.
Wow, the higher than I
Wow.
thought.
I would give it a 100%.
Oh my god.
I think that if you can imagine the impact that the books like Chronicles of Narnia and
Mhm.
Lord of the Rings had on the
Uh-huh.
Christian faith, this type of movie can have that same impact on slightly left-leaning believers who may or may not live in Washington, D.C.
We're not having a hot Christmas.
What?
Like,
We're not having a hot
Yeah,
Christmas.
I don't think I'm gonna agree with that review when I watch this movie, but you know,
Thank
We
you.
gotta
Thank
try
you,
for
Blaine.
ourselves.
Rotten Tomatoes is often very wrong, so
That's
I guess
very
I'll give Blaine the benefit of the doubt.
I know.
I think
Sure.
it's
Not
a
the
movie worth
worst.
watching. I do
Wants to
feel like
challenge.
people do have 90 minutes free during a pandemic, and this is an enjoyable film with a few turns and surprises.
I like surprise.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like that's a movie that I came out of the review knowing less about it.
Yeah, I know.
Now I'm
I-
just unsure.
I-
I'm really confused.
Honestly, Nat, I kind of had that same thing where I'm like, I feel like Operation Christmas Drop, it sounds very straightforward. Like there's some sort of
Right.
charitable
Me
thing.
too. Me
Yeah,
too.
like charity, like, you know, America's involved,
Right.
probably overseas. But now I feel like we're getting into like a Serial Season 2 Bo Bergdahl-esque critique of the U.S. military strategy.
Conspiracy.
I'm confused.
Yeah,
You know,
we
as
should-
as a
wow.
pacifist and as a fan of Serial, it was a honest and slightly favorable look at the military, which that's not always my lane, and so I was glad to be
Interesting.
stretched a little bit. So,
I mean, you
Wow.
could just watch a Michael Bay movie and get the same thing.
and
Well.
I have, and I shall.
Spin-off
Bumblebee.
podcast series.
Bumblebee for the win.
We had a,
Yeah,
get
for-
a
yeah.
spin-off podcast series where we just kind of delve into the themes of Christmas Drop and, just
Yes.
explore that. I think that needs
That's
to
the
happen.
singular theme.
Yeah.
of-
Blaine,
Yeah.
will you host it with
Yeah.
me?
I guess.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'll never watch the movie.
Right.
Oh,
I'll
that'd be
talk
cool.
about it with you, but I'll have never seen this movie.
Wow.
Like every
Oh,
single
I think
person
that's
to
cool.
ever go to the DAV and talk about the Atlantic. I love it.
Wow.
Well,
Wow. Well,
That's
I'll go
funny.
next because mine is much more on the cold side of it.
Ooh.
For me, I
Mr.
wanna
Heat
watch-
Miser, Mrs.
I w-
Winter.
yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Snow misers. That's not
I-
hard.
Snow Miser. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
This is winter.
I couldn't remember.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I really don't even. know
I
what you guys
don't,
are
but I
talking
like
about.
it. Winter.
I like that movie though.
Are you guys talking about German
that movie. That's
Pentecostal
100%.
theologians?
No, what movie is that?
The Year
The Year
Without
Without
Santa
Santa
Claus.
Claus.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not what I was thinking. Anyway, when I watch Christmas movies, I want it to be like very wintry.
Yes.
I wish it were wintry outside. I'm
Yes.
very hot in this sweatshirt right now.
Mm,
Like
preach.
Christmas to me, and one being from the north,
Mhm.
you know, Christmas to me, I just want it to be snowy and cold, and I want all my Christmas movies to be snowy and cold.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Painful,
I watch-
desolate, stuck inside.
No, not
No.
usually stuck inside. It's actually usually beautiful.
Yep.
Mm.
Playing with
With
the
all the
snow.
lights and you
pictures.
walk
It's a great.
around.
That is true. It is pretty.
I feel like
magical.
Natalie, you won.
Yeah.
Point for Natalie.
Wow, thanks, German. You're always on my team.
German, you're working on Monday.
So I watched the movie Klaus, which is an animated movie that I think came out in 2019. I saw that it was nominated for an Oscar for animated movie.
Oh, it's animated?
And yes, it's animated.
Oh, sweet.
And so the premise is it kind of the beginning reminded me of like Emperor's New Groove, where there's just like very spoiled rich kid,
It's a great
who's like
parallel.
I think it's his father is like in charge of the whole like basically the whole postal service academy. And so he's like at this academy, but he's just like a total slacker and like doesn't do anything and was like, you know, just in the back and like skipped school or something. So his father sends him away. His name's Jesper, sends him away to a town called Smeerensburg, which ends up being like above the Arctic Circle,
Oh.
like this cold, desolate place, like not cheery at all. And it's like he basically has to postmark like 1,500 letters or something like that. Like there's a number that he has to reach before he can come back home.
Mm.
And he's like, easy, I can do that. And then when he comes to Smeerensburg, he realizes just how awful it is. And first of all, there's like all these different levels, right? The town is like divided into two different people groups and they're always at war with each other. Like they're always fighting. And they don't use the postal service like ever. Like there's not a single letter that comes out of there. It's like gray, cold, miserable. Like he befriends this teacher who really isn't actually a teacher. She came to be a teacher, but realized it was just such a hopeless place that she became created like a fish market in the classroom or something like that. Like it's just this desolate place. And he comes up with this scheme. And I think it really reminds me now that I'm talking about a lot of Emperor's New Groove, because he comes up with a scheme to get around it and to get back home.
Yeah.
But then ends up like, you know, falling in love with the people. He gets the kids to like write letters to get toys to this guy that he meets named Klaus, who's this old big man who like is alone but was a toy maker. And
Klaus, you say? Big man, you
Klaus. Yeah,
Interesting.
exactly. And
What? Wait. I didn't catch that.
just like a
That's
play,
good.
it's an interpretation
good.
of the Santa Claus story,
say.
right?
Jeremiah
I
was
like that.
mind blown when we watched this. He was like, "Wait, Klaus or Klaus? Which one is
Yes,
it?"
right.
Yeah.
So, you know, and
That's
the
so
whole
good.
origin story of Klaus is great because, you know, he was married and it's like this beautiful love story and they want to have a ton of kids and they're making all these toys for kids that they're going to have. And it's really tragic. His wife can't have kids.
Mm.
And then his wife ends up passing away. So he's like alone. There's all these
Wait, is this
toys that
Up?
never got
Wow.
used.
Yeah.
It's like similar
It's
to,
an
you know, it,
allegory
like,
of
has
that.
the heartstrings, you know. And so Jesper makes this like plan to get the kids to send him letters. So then like he's ranking up the postmarked, you know, mail. And Klaus is creating toys for all the kids. And it's like bringing a lot of joy to the city and the teacher starts teaching again. And there's like this one group that still is like, he's ruining our town because people are starting to like each other, you know. So these two hateful groups come together to team up against Jesper and everything that he's doing. They reveal that it was a scam basically, and everyone's all upset. And at that point, Jesper's heart had been like, turned, and loved these people. And then, but he reached his quota. His dad came and was like, congratulations, and brought him back home, or was going to bring him back home. And, surprise, surprise, he has a change of heart and he doesn't go back home with his dad. He stays around and they save Christmas. And then they build this tradition of him and Klaus creating like this toy factory every year. They write letters of their toys and he makes the toys and they deliver them. And, Chris, and there's just all this joy. The teacher is a teacher, it's just like, and it becomes this like beautiful, very like snowy, Christmassy town. And there's one very touching part. This is definitely a spoiler. Like towards the end where there's like kind of explaining what happens. It's like this montage, like what keeps happening as the years go on. And every year, like they become a little bit older and he gets married to the teacher and they have their kids and they're getting older and older. And one day Klaus goes out, he's real old and he goes to like chop wood and he like hears his wife's voice and you see like this kind of like wind and he says, okay, I'm coming. And he, walks away and he just disappears, which was like, definitely I cried. I have goosebumps now talking about it.
Yeah, I'm crying.
And it was just so beautiful. And he disappeared. He didn't like die. And it just ends with like, Jesper's like, he's narrating it and he's saying, but every year the toys still showed up. Like somehow Klaus still found a way to come, and Klaus came and visited Jesper's house
That's so theological.
every Christmas Eve.
I think that's the real Christmas story right there.
That's the
Really,
real.
honestly.
That's canon. That's canon. Yeah.
That sounds really good.
It was that was a long way of explaining the plot, but
Wait, what's the name of it again?
Klaus, Klaus.
I need that. Oh, yeah, I was not gonna spell like that.
It was a beautiful story. The animation is great.
Oh my gosh.
The soundtrack is great.
Mm.
Some of the voices are Rashida Jones plays the teacher. J.K. Simmons is Klaus, who J.K. Simmons he was in, I'm trying to think he's like bald guy. He's been in a million things. He was in that drum movie.
I think he was in Brink as well as one of the teacher's aides.
Wow, I don't know. He was also in
Jonah
Juno, which
Jameson.
I know Blaine loves Juno.
Spider-Man.
Juno.
Did you just bring up Juno?
I did. Jason Schwartzman plays Jesper. It was these touching moments. It was just full of joy, community, friendship, relationship. And he chose to live in this like Arctic place because of the people, and he loved the people, and he built a life there. So
Missionary Heart.
It was a great Missionary Heart for sure. It was a great movie. On Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 94%.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Which is very accurate to me. I would probably, my Bob the Tomato Meter percentage, I would give it a 96%.
Nice.
I'd probably do a little bit higher than that.
Sure.
Because it just was a great movie, and I highly recommend it.
I'm looking at the picture now.
If you're gonna watch Operation Christmas Drop, right after, make sure you have time to watch Klaus to bring you right back into the spirit.
Wow, that's good to know.
That animation looks fire.
It is. It's great animation.
Yeah.
The lighting in the animation is unreal. The way they do
it's just
lighting.
And it got me in the Christmas spirit, just like the beauty of that like wintry village. It was great. Highly recommend.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
The weird part is like there was so much hate in that town between two groups that couldn't be reconciled. I couldn't think of any modern day equivalent, so I had to really
I know,
it
it
was
wasn't
really hard to
relatable.
Yeah,
it was really hard to think
connect.
through what it would be like to live in a polarized community or
I know.
society. So
Can't
that was a
possibly
leap
be
for
a
me.
metaphor.
You
right?
really just had to like enter into their world,
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's what people in other countries deal with.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, well, who's next?
I'll go next.
Daniel.
So the movie I have is called The Knight, Knight, Knight,
Knight.
shiny armor, emphasis on that. The Night Before Christmas.
So good.
Not to be confused
good.
with another movie, Night Before Christmas. That's another,
Yeah, I was
Another
confused.
Right.
Yeah, we know
It's a
that.
book too.
this movie, I'm gonna kind of go through a synopsis, like Alexis did, sort of. So it came out last year, 2019. It's got Vanessa Hudgens. It's got Josh Whitehouse, who plays the Knight.
He's
I was
aight.
actually surprised that, like, Troy Bolton wasn't the Knight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where's Zach when you need him?
He
Well,
didn't
where
get
is
his head in the
yeah.
game.
Wow.
It kind of messed with my mind at first. It was like, it was, it took me a while to grow into it, but I got there eventually.
I heard they tried to cast Nicolas Cage in that role at first, but it didn't work out with his shooting schedule.
Okay, honestly,
Wow, that would have taken it
better
to
movie.
another level. That would have taken it to a whole other level.
What is he even? Anyways, that's not. What is he doing? Right now?
So it wasn't Nicolas Cage. It wasn't, Troy Bolton / Zac Efron. So essentially the premise is that you have this, this 14th century knight living in that century, in that time. He is trying to grow in and become like a knight, like officially. And then while that's going on, you have Brooke, played by Vanessa Hudgens, this woman who's, a science teacher. She's kind of like not really had, like, relationships haven't really worked out for her. So you can see where this is going, kind of, right? It's like the movie's essentially like it is like a rom-com.
Are you a rom-com guy, Dan? Are you a rom-com guy?
Not really, actually, but
This makes me think of Kate and Leopold. Does anyone ever watch Kate and Leopold?
Yeah, that's a great pool.
Excellent.
That is, yeah,
And
that's
you'd like it.
yeah, you're 100% right. This is like the dollar store version Christmas of Kate and Leopold.
It's
I
like
like
Meg
Christmas
Ryan's
version.
heyday,
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, it's hard to beat Meg.
Yeah. So you have, and then, I don't know, like, I'll just read kind of like what happens. The knight's name is Cole, and he's in the 14th century, right? But then he's sent into the future by this old crone to fulfill his destiny of being a true knight. So he's sent to the modern day, and then after accidentally hitting him with her car, Brooke thinks that Cole is suffering amnesia, and so she tells him, or he tells her, that he thinks he's a knight, and he references all this 14th century stuff, and so she essentially wants to protect him, and kind of like help him before he regains his memory. And of course, they start to slowly fall in love and make that connection. But the charming part, and my favorite, like, kind of like just why I kind of liked the movie in the end, was just like his reaction as he like entered into the modern day world.
100%.
He sold it so well. Like, it was
So
like
good.
hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, the
He is
confused,
great.
like,
He
fish
makes
out of
it
water.
You watch
like,
Kate
it was so
Leopold.
good.
It's like exactly the
Yeah.
same.
It was like,
He steals the show every minute he is on screen.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's like
Wow.
from when he first enters like the world, he's like the way he's kind of just like looking at
I wanna
all
watch
like, the
that.
Christmas lights,
Yeah.
and all this,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
modern like fancy Christmas stuff in this like park, and he's just like, I don't know how he does it so well. And then he calls some kind of humorous moments in the movie is he's so confused with cars, like in vehicles in general. And so he calls them metal steeds. So funny.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
don't, yeah.
Does he
so,
speak
like,
with a different English?
so somehow in the movie, I don't know why, like, we were wondering that, Toby, like, why Vanessa Hudgens let him borrow her car.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're like, why is she trusting him enough? I know she kind of has like a thing for him, but like, this guy's never like, drove a car in the modern world.
Yeah, bad idea.
And so he's trying to like figure out like, how to put the keys in. He's activating the lights, the windshield wipers, all these like, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And then he eventually starts going, and he starts driving the car. He's zigzagging. He's going through lights. I mean, how does a 14th century knight understand like what a red light is? Like,
Yeah.
you don't know that.
It's very accurate.
But then as he parks, like he parks like on the curb. It's probably my favorite part of the movie. And he's getting out of the car. He's opening the door. He says like, "Whoa." He's like, easy, girl.
So good. It's
so
it's
funny.
all of those little things that he does.
It's like the little
throwaway
moments that like
Oh,
sell it. Like, even how he introduces himself to other people in the world.
Yes.
His name is Cole, right? But he calls himself Sir Cole, Circle. I don't know.
That's
But like,
funny.
He calls all women that he meets "my lady."
Yeah.
What else?
But you do that.
That's why he liked it so
Not
much.
in front of
I
them.
don't.
Not in front of them.
Yeah.
If Dan told me he was actually a 14th century knight, I believe him.
Yeah, I would be like, okay, thanks.
That's funny.
Anyway, and he also takes his sword everywhere with him, which is like hilarious. Makes no sense. So you see him like dressing in like he starts to, you know, he enters the world in his like knight armor and stuff, but eventually, you know, starts to wear modern clothes and stuff other than his sword. So like you see him going to like places like carrying this like gigantic sword like hanging from his like waist. It's great.
It's amazing.
And so yeah, he honestly makes the movie. I had a lot of fun watching just because of all like the British like kind of humor and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I was saying like hello, charmed, cheerio. Like I was saying that like every other
So
second
much.
of watching that. So it was a lot of fun.
Why do
In the
British
end-
people always talk about breakfast cereal? So that's what I never have gotten. Like, why do they
Right.
always say Cheerio?
That's a fact. I agree.
I don't know. That's,
Yeah.
you gotta ask them that, Blaine.
They gotta be American.
So in the end, he has to, or whatever, like after he's bestowed by this quest, the quest was like to find love. He found love, but then he ended up going back to his like brother's ceremony.
That's a
thing.
tragedy.
And then they like, I don't know, they don't really explain it, but he somehow is able to like go back to the modern world after like she's missing him and stuff. And so
Mhm.
he's able to end back. They end up like, it's a happy ending, good ending. So yeah, essentially what I liked about it was like the good acting from the knight character, from Sir Cole. And yeah, I would, yeah, it's like a fun movie, corny in certain ways for sure. I think there was like, Toby and I were talking, I think there must have been like some deleted scenes like in
Yeah.
it, because like there was like an ex like boyfriend from Vanessa Hudgens' character, and they're like hinting at like a duel possibly happening, and then like it ended
Yeah.
up not happening. It was like in the
Mhm.
beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
and
we
then,
need an
like,
extended
nothing
cut. Come
happened.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, listen,
Yeah.
there's some missing
Easily.
scenes that
There
would
were.
make it even
Give me a
better.
2-disc DVD set. Why
Yeah,
not?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll
I
take
need
a
this in
director's
4K.
commentary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I yeah, it was just a fun movie. So Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 70% actually.
Oh,
That's low.
Yeah.
Is that low?
I think
I was actually higher than I
think
thought.
it's
that
high
up.
for
Wow, I'm
Rotten
surprised it
Tomatoes.
was, yeah, I'm also surprised that I give it that high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's true. Rotten Tomatoes is a little
70
less.
feels, well,
And so I'll give it for my Bob the Tomato meter. I grade on a curve, especially for Christmas movies.
Mhm.
So I will
Fast.
give it an 84%.
Okay.
Bob
Okay,
the
that's not
Tomato
bad.
meter.
I feel like
Yeah.
Christmas is the one time, in my opinion, where corny is
Yeah.
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And I feel like the night before Christmas, like it's definitely not like a great film. It's just fun because it
right,
knows what it is.
Right.
It's not
It knows
trying
what it
to,
is,
you know, it's
exactly.
not trying to do anything that it's not. Like you never get into the weird thing of like, well, how does the time travel work? And we need a 10-minute explanation of how
Right.
time travel works. Like
Right,
They don't
right.
no,
go
like
into it.
everybody
Yeah.
commits. It was really fun.
Wow. Well, if you like that, I highly recommend Kate and Leopold. It's not Christmas themed, but it's great. Meg Ryan and Hugh Jackman.
Great.
Yeah.
I
I
think it's
recommend
on. It's
Track
supposed
Ball
to be
Loud
on
Girl.
Amazon. So
I like both of them.
yeah.
So I would like, yeah, overall, like this movie is like, it's like a Hallmark movie, but it's better than a Hallmark movie. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
there's
Well,
like a
I
little
mean,
bit
I feel
more
like-
interesting things going on. You know,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, that was rude.
Sorry, Blaine. Sorry.
Wow. Thanks, Space Dan. That's a good recommendation.
Holodan.
Holiday.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, who's next?
I can
I
go.
think it's me or Jolene. You want to go, Jolene?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right.
We're saving the
Um,
classic for last.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Honestly, say the best for last because,
Yeah.
anyways. So my movie is Christmas Catch, and y'all, this movie. Okay. Full disclosure, I do enjoy myself a corny Christmas rom-com. It is a
Sure.
genre that I am well versed in. And I also think that this genre has existed for a long time, but it's very recently become like an actual subgenre that people are trying
Yeah.
to make movies for. And I've appreciated these movies back when I was like afraid to tell people that I like these movies. You know what I'm saying? Like watch it alone in my basement in high school, like that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm very wise in this topic and in this genre as far as like corny holiday rom-coms, right?
Right.
So Christmas Catch. I don't even need to tell you who's in it. They're generic looking white people.
It's so true.
Don't even worry about the cast. I don't even really have to tell you that much of the plot because they fall in love in the end. But I will say I appreciated this movie. I don't even know who made it or where it came from. It's like 2 years old. It's on Netflix, but it's not a Netflix movie. I have no idea where it's from. Maybe it's a Hallmark movie. I don't know. But it's, obviously a rom-com. You got two people who don't like each other and then they like each other or whatever, right? But it's really interesting because it's called Christmas Catch because this woman is a police detective and she is, one of those like unlucky in love, quote unquote, can't really get a date, isn't really good at dating. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, when are you going to get married? When are you going to do whatever? And then she meets this guy and they just had that instant connection. And she's like, oh my gosh, yes, this is it. But then she finds out that the guy she met is a perp that she needs to go undercover and track down because they think he's responsible for stealing a diamond encrusted reindeer along with his ex-wife.
What?
Okay, so there's drama here. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, there's things going
There's
on.
layers.
And so, like, she's like, dude, I like this guy, but he also could be a criminal. And I think that that's an interesting tension to deal with.
Yeah.
And so the whole movie is like her undercover, trying to like track him down, but he can't know that she's a cop. And so she's like trying to like figure out, okay, but is he innocent? Because he also could be this whole big criminal. And I will say, I very much enjoyed this movie because usually with one of these movies, what you see is what you get. You know how it's going to end. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This movie actually really surprised me at the end. I know we said spoiler alert, but I don't even want to say it because I want everyone else to experience the same thing I did.
Really?
Wow.
But the ending, there's this
Not
twist.
watching it.
Listen, I didn't see it
I
coming.
wasn't planning on watching.
I was
it,
ready
but
to be
now-
like, I'll know what's happened. It's okay. I just want to feel a good movie. But the ending shocked me. And I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming. And so that to me makes it a higher tier of this genre because they stuck to the classic elements.
Yeah.
But they switched up on you a little bit. And I feel like it was
Interesting.
everything that I wanted when I clicked play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Wow, I like that.
I also want to vouch because I watched this with her.
Nice.
I can vouch for it being the classic genre that she explained because I was laughing throughout it. Even at the most serious part, this man was like, "Get out of my house," and I just burst out laughing. I can't even tell. It was so funny. I was like, "What is
The
going on?"
acting's not great, but
No, it's not.
it's
But
still entertaining.
it
Like,
is
the plot
entertaining,
is.
and
The
me
plot
and
is.
her were both with the plot twist. We both did not see it coming, so that was we were both pretty impressed by that. It was
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
Are
I
they
you want to be a
irreverent?
little bit surprised.
Are they irreverent towards religion, or do they take the Lord's name in vain? I'm just trying to see if it's family appropriate.
I mean, I don't know, get TVG. Don't know what to tell you about that,
So,
But
like from
I highly
Left
recommend.
Behind to The Shining, would it be somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, probably somewhere between. I don't know where, but in between somewhere.
Left Behind
I
is
would
honestly
put Left
scary.
Behind, at like 0.
Yeah.
That's true too. That's true. It might be below Left Behind.
That
That's
was my
true.
biggest nightmare growing up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so what's your tomato meter and Rotten
So
Tomatoes?
this movie doesn't even have a Rotten Tomato.
It didn't make the
Wow.
cut.
It does. It doesn't have. It doesn't.
It didn't make
It
the
doesn't
cut.
have Rotten Tomato score, but it does have an audience score.
Okay.
And before
Okay.
I tell you the audience score, just know that this is only the opinion of 15 people. Okay?
Put that against Jolene's opinion.
So the audience score is a 33%,
Oh,
Okay.
but
Not
I
bad.
think that they don't have the kind of connoisseur mindset that I do of this genre. And so I
Right.
think they're
Oh,
just
for
out of their
sure.
league and just don't understand how to properly
Beyond their
use
depth.
the amount
Right.
of
Just-
like
yeah.
cinematic,
Obviously,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
No,
I really
absolutely.
just disregard all 15 of those people. I think they're all canceled. And so
Yes, sir.
I would give this movie, and I give it a fair rating. I would give this movie a 70%.
50.
Okay?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
All
I don't
right.
know
That's a
how
big
Again,
gap. That's a big gap.
Because the
German,
best
have
part
you
was
seen the
the
movie?
twist.
Have
That's
you
a
seen the
big
movie,
gap.
German?
Yes.
Oh.
You
did?
I haven't.
Seen it?
I got
Watch
him.
it. He just said that so
Oh.
we can't say watch it.
Yeah.
I give it a
Wow.
70% though. It's not like the world's greatest movie or anything.
Sure.
Like, I understand what it is, But I
It's a
think
big
that for
gap.
its genre, especially, it's a little bit better. And I enjoyed it. That's the important part. It was well done.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd
Yeah.
watch it again because the best part was the twist, and I already seen that. So I don't think it'd hit the same way if I watched it again.
Right.
But I did not regret pressing play at all.
Right.
Would you
I
say
So
like
it's
it's
like
a
the
gap?
McRib. Is it the McRib? You know, like you wouldn't compare that to like a Brazilian steakhouse, but compared to what other things McDonald's offers, it's pretty
No,
good.
because you could regret a McRib.
I've never had it.
You could regret that. So
Yeah.
a little different.
Okay.
A little
Fair enough.
different. It's more like a McChicken. Like
Is
this
a
is
McRib
fine,
good?
but, like
Yeah,
chicken
it's
down
a
the
great
street. You know what I'm saying?
McChicken
McChicken
is a
is
solid
good.
sandwich.
Chicken, yeah, me check.
Yeah, it's like good. You know, it's not
Yeah,
I've never
Popeye's
had
Chick-fil-A,
better-
but it's
I've
good.
never had better fried food than a McChicken.
Well,
So
That is a
good.
good-
Me and I would
Wow, that's saying a lot, Blaine.
You know.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know about
I'm
that.
just kidding. My
know.
mother-in-law
Popeye.
makes fried chicken. I'm just
Oh.
kidding.
Yes,
She's
please.
listening to the
He's
podcast.
listening. Yeah.
So that is my
Okay,
my
great
review.
review.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to be on my list of movies to watch, but now it is.
I think so.
Still
You
isn't.
told me.
Let me know,
Toby?
Natty.
I'll let you know, Jeremy.
Yeah, let's.
Toby, you're finishing it out, rounding us out.
Oh man, I am finishing that with a classic. My movie is The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh,
Yes.
so good.
There really there's no other Christmas movie.
No.
I don't really feel the need to give a synopsis. It's a Christmas Carol. I mean, everybody kind of knows that story, but like the thing that does it for me with the Muppets is Michael Caine is great in this movie. He is
1,000,000%.
he's amazing. This is one of my favorite Michael Caine roles, and I really appreciate Michael Caine. But I think the other thing for me with the Muppets is, I think like a lot of the best holiday stuff, the best kids things, it doesn't underestimate how emotionally mature its audience is. And so at the same time of being really lighthearted, really fun, it will also get really heavy at times, but it walks that line so well. It's actually in the news this year, Muppet Christmas Carol is, because apparently they took out one of the songs for the past few years because one of the songs was considered too sad for children.
Oh.
And this year they put it back in. And
The
everybody's
4
very
in me
excited.
makes me really upset about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like the song is called "When Love Is Gone," and it shows you like the heartbreak of Scrooge, and the reason that Scrooge becomes the man that he is because he has a broken heart.
Huge part
And
of that.
they took out this beautiful song that I can't remember the lady's name, the actress's name who sings it, but she's
Miss
really
Piggy.
good. Yes.
Miss Piggy.
No, it's not Miss Piggy. I'm just kidding. No, it's another human character.
I was like, who's that
Kermit.
nicest voice?
No. It's another human character. I can't remember what her name is, but she's great. Yeah, I just love this movie. I think the high point for me really is they just do such a good job with the Muppets. Like everything that's great about the Muppets is they're so excitable, but also everything that's happening in the background that you might miss, it's amazing. Like the opening song where they're singing about Scrooge and like who he is and like what his character's like. If you pay attention, the Muppet they're doing such hilarious things, and it's that attention to detail that just does it for me in this movie.
Yeah.
So I love this movie. I will watch it 100 times before I die. It is a phenomenal Christmas movie.
So
I
good.
famously do not like a lot of kids things, but this one
Famously.
this one gets me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this movie. The ghosts are great. Michael Caine, amazing. Kermit the
Is it
Frog
better
is
than
Bob
the-
Cratchit.
Is it better than the Phineas and Ferb Christmas Carol that came out on Disney Plus?
I
I
think
haven't
this
seen
is
that actually.
I think this is the best version of A Christmas Carol ever.
I would agree with that. I actually had this conversation with my mom because she's a middle school teacher and her students are reading the Christmas Carol or A Christmas Carol. And she was trying to figure out a version for them to watch. Like Hulu just came out with a version last year, which is very dark.
Yeah.
And we were trying to figure out like what would be a good one. And I was like, what about Muppet Christmas Carol? And she was like, oh yeah, that is a great version. There's also a Mickey Mouse version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
Right?
Mickey
I don't.
Mouse.
Yeah. See, I've watched that one. I don't like it because I don't think they cast it right. Like the characters that are in it they're too serious. Like
Sure.
in
And
Muppet
Muppets
Christmas
are
Carol,
just
it's so good.
The Muppets are classic. Another great classic that Jolene is now aware of is Muppet Treasure Island,
Oh,
It's a
that
hit.
movie's great.
which is an
It's a
excellent
bop, as
movie.
they say. It's a bop.
It is
That
one
movie
of
is
the
amazing.
greatest movies
Slaps.
of all time.
Wait,
The
Nat,
reason Jolene knows it is because whenever we record Worship, there's like a big red dot in the corner, obviously. And in Muppet Treasure Island, they all have Mutiny, which is the big black dot.
Yes,
It's always
yes.
like on the paper. And obviously it's a red dot on record, but for some reason, every single time I think Mutiny. I make the same joke every single time. Jolene
Like,
has
we're at
never
the end of the
laughed
semester,
once.
and she's not kidding when she says every single time.
I
Oh my
still
gosh,
do
that's
it.
great.
I recorded Worship like without her last week, and I still said it.
Oh, that is amazing.
It's still such a good movie.
Wait, Nat, have you seen Muppets Take Manhattan?
So
No.
good.
Oh,
That
that's
one's
so
fun.
really
good.
good.
Is this all on
I've
Disney
seen
Plus?
any
I don't know if
Muppet
it's on Disney
movie
Plus, but it's a
ever.
great movie. Alexis, you've never seen a Muppet movie?
No.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
I do love
Same,
Oh.
same.
I don't think
Yeah,
I have.
same.
You
Yeah.
gotta watch. You gotta
Okay,
watch
there's
the
three of
Christmas
us.
Carol.
Yeah, that one I put on my list. I'm now very
Yeah.
interested.
But I would also
Yeah.
say Treasure Island is because
Yeah.
that's the thing about Muppets is like it's a take on a classic story.
Absolutely.
Is it?
Same.
Yeah, like Long
Muppet
John
ties
Silver.
it.
Have
Yeah.
you guys seen the
But the
Muppets
thing with-
Passion of the Christ?
Oh my god.
Oh,
The
that'd
way
be
that
bad.
Gonzo,
Wait, who
the way
plays
that
Christ?
Gonzo plays Christ.
Don't,
Why is
don't do
no,
this.
no.
Don't do this.
Oh
It's
my
not
god.
right.
The crown,
It's not right.
the crown into the
It's
polyester
not.
cotton
It's not
thread
right.
Stop.
of his
That's
head.
just too much.
It's
That's
too
actually
much.
not
The
bad
Gonzo's-
casting. That's actually of all the Muppets.
Gonzo?
I think
Uh,
so.
So cool.
Kermit's too obvious. Kermit's too
Beaker,
obvious.
I guess.
why he
Beaker
would do
as
I mean-
Judas. Beaker as Judas.
Yeah, I could see that.
Beaker? No.
So wait, what is the Muppets? I mean, I've seen the memes, but
Okay, yeah. So the
Kermit
Muppets
the
is
Frog.
it's a collection of puppet characters made
and they
famous by
make
Jim
movies. Okay.
Yeah, they made yeah.
Puppets don't make
it
movies.
wasn't-
yeah.
Puppets
was it a
star in
show?
movies.
It
They're
was the
puppets,
show
they
for a
can't
long
direct
time.
But
Yeah.
what do they have their own
make a
names?
movie.
How do they have their own name? Like Kermit the Frog, like what instead of like?
Yeah,
The
but
actor-
it's like,
so
it's
is it-
like
birth
Sesame Street.
certificates.
It's very
Yeah.
similar to Sesame Street, but the
Okay.
Muppets, you know.
Yeah.
So like, this movie is starting Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this movie. Oh, okay.
That's literally
yeah,
how people
they,
treat
they
it.
all it's like an ensemble cast thing. Like
Yeah,
if one Muppet is in it, they're kind of all in it.
Right.
And so
And
like
all the same Muppets are in every single movie.
yeah,
Mhm.
and I think what's great about like stuff like The Christmas Carol is they stick to the original story of A Christmas Carol. It's just that every so often they like pop in a Muppet character for like a lead role,
Yeah.
and like all of a sudden
Mm.
like you know and nobody finds it weird. Like
Yeah.
within the
Right.
movie,
Kinda like
they all
Space
treat one another as like kind of normal.
Right.
I want to watch. I want to
It's
watch.
like Sesame Street. It's like when people come on Sesame Street and they interact with
Yeah.
Elmo. It's like a normal
Yeah,
person.
Yeah, they don't say
There's no
like, "Wow, like what are you?" It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's
Oh,
Elmo."
you're screwed.
It's fitting.
obviously.
Fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do also
Yeah,
like the new
well,
Muppet movies too. The ones they've made the past few years. Those are pretty good too.
I like the
haven't
memes.
seen any
I'm
of
here for the
those.
memes.
They're pretty
I'm
good.
just here for the
I
memes.
gotta check those out. I just
Just
think
the
like,
memes. That's all I'm looking for.
yeah,
I think
That's
it's
it.
meme. I think it's meme. German.
I
I
meme.
think it's meme. Yeah.
I
My
feel
bad.
like
It's
we're
my-
just
it's my-
really going downhill. This is probably the time where we should tie it up in a bow.
Yeah, let
Ooh,
me tell
nice
you
little
my
Christmas
rating
bow.
for this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Rotten Tomatoes. This is a time when I really disagree with Rotten Tomatoes. There's only 49 critic reviews.
There's
on
only
Rotten
200
Tomatoes.
reviews. There's only
No, there's only
5,000.
40. No. There's only 49 reviews from actual critics, and they give it a 76,
What?
which it's too
That's
low.
an injustice.
I read some of the reviews, and like these people have no holiday cheer whatsoever.
That's an
Ah.
injustice.
Bah humbug.
It's
Bah
oh, yeah,
humbug,
it's
screw you.
exactly
Screwed.
Alexis. They watched this movie and they learned nothing.
Bunch of Scrooges.
Because
He learned
it's-
nothing. They learned no lessons.
They learned nothing. This movie to me, man, if it's not 100%, it's a 99 because it
Wow.
is near and dear to my heart. I love this movie.
Wow.
I have cried watching this movie. It's awesome.
Sometimes
It is also a
Damn, that's on the
nostalgic
list now
thing.
too.
Some of it is definitely nostalgia for sure.
Absolutely.
Biasness.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
But
But
like-
growing
Dickens
up
is
with
classic.
that.
I mean, Dickens
yeah.
is so classic in this way. It's
And
what
like
he always
the-
wanted from his writings.
Yeah, the
he
redemption story
imagined
really
it,
comes
yeah.
Yes.
Dickens
yes.
imagined that it would be played by the Muppets.
Yeah.
I
Got it.
agree.
Wow. Well,
99s and 100? Wow.
Mhm.
I mean,
One
it's
movie thing. Wow.
it's up there.
Operation Christmas drop.
Yeah. Now, I feel like this has been a pretty helpful review session for people who have wanted to watch these movies or are watching these movies. We hope that you enjoyed our banter back and forth. Let us know if you agree or disagree with any of these movies, or if there are other movies that you say, hey, this should be on your list as well, I am very serious about making this Christmas movie list because I'm absorbing all of Christmas that I can in the month.
You're right.
Absolutely.
So if you're listening and you have recommendations for us, please comment. Let us know. And also, to close out the year, this is our last one of the year, at least of our normal podcast episodes. So we just want to say thanks for coming along on this ride. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We'll see you in the new year. We'll still be here doing the same stuff that we've been doing. But yeah, we hope that you're enjoying Better Wherever. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And we'll see you in 2021.
Vision 2021. God, we
Sight
claim
hear
this
you
church.
then.